anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing, the terrorism is global.
All right, let's get started. 3, 2, 1. Hey, there we go. My computer just decided to shut down. It just decided to do that. Just did one of those blue screen freezes. It's basically saying, HAL, you have the new Mac. Move to it quickly as possible. Do it now. And yet there's still some software that I use for the show that isn't quite for the. It's PC based. I'll find some way to overlap it. I'll figure it out. It's going to be, I don't mind. I will rivet this thing to the ceiling and get over it. And yes, hold on, chat room. There you are. Yeah, there you go. Hi, everybody. Also, hello, guys. We didn't get to talk about it this morning because we were running and gunning with Bob and Tara, but Rosalind Carter's passing and the beautiful notebook level romantic story about Jimmy Carter, basically hanging on for her, is Summer and I were both getting teared up talking about it earlier today. So it just so sweet. Like he comes home to do the, he's hospicing at home because he doesn't want to be away from her because her health is deteriorating, and then she ends up going before he does. She's home for hospice about 2-3 days, and he's holding her hand when she passes, and it just, they've been married for 77 years, for crying out loud. Just lovely people. And of course, the first thing, yes, Jimmy saved Canada. We love Jimmy. That's true. And he pissed radioactive for 6 months after. If you don't know that story, go look it up. We've talked about it before. But just what sweet, beautiful people. 92 years old, and she's younger than he is. Yeah, I'm sure too, Gina. That's my feeling as well. It's like one of those old couple stories, and it's just friggin' lovely. So anyways, and Joe Biden's birthday. So happy birthday, Joe. We love you. And it's funny. I got I don't know where I put it. I've been doing crazy amounts of laundry. You don't need to know this lately. In the middle of listening to these long form podcasts and shit like that. I'm like, I got to start multitasking, or my house is going to fall to squalor. And so, I got out my Dark Brandon shirt, and I was going to wear it today in honor of Jesse Waters saying he hasn't seen a Joe Biden t-shirt or hat or any kind of merch or whatever. And I realized I got it, and it was in the wash. I pulled it out. I was like, oh, I should wash it. And then I put it in there, and then my mug was sitting out, and I left it in the other room too. It's just pitiful. I got to do tomorrow. That'll be the thing. Tomorrow afternoon, somebody remind me. Joe Biden, Dark Brandon shirt and mug. I'm just saying, bordering on nuts? Yes, because it's a border pun. It's not because he isn't nuts, because he fucking well is. Now, we'll go to that right away. Let's see. Pause. Pause. Okay, so he comes down to visit border agents, and let me just show you. Um, okay, pause. All right, let me show you something because I don't know. All right, there's been a lot of stories recently about how Donald Trump is already picking out his cabinet, much less the drapes. And yes, Summer is feeling a little bit better. She's probably got another day or so of me bringing her breakfast and lunch in bed and coffee and emergency with honey, which is how I make it. I take emergency, I make it hot and stir in honey. It's a good time. And making sure she has plenty of Gatorade and all that stuff. She's doing very well. We'll get her back to her her healthy self right away. So I've been doing everything I can. You should see me trucking up and down the stairs with a tray in my hand, like fucking Alfred. But this I so Trump's been picking out his own people. This is what we've heard. That he's gonna have nothing but loyalists in his cabinet, and they are gonna like guarantee that nobody can kick him out of office. He's gonna be safe, and they can't. Right? That's the story we've told. Like, oh my God, he's surrounding himself. TYT was just bashing Biden on his birthday to show you how classy they are. I mean, what else are they gonna do? Like Cenk's Israel takes are some of the most dog shit, like pop top nonsense that I've seen in a while. It's just like apparently everyone he argues with is the Israeli government or is a stand-in for it. Between Shmuley, remember when he was Shmuley, America's rabbi? Shmuley's here. He's not part of the. I'm sure he could maybe get a meeting with Netanyahu with a bunch of other rabbis if American rabbis said, but it's not like he's got a fucking hot phone going, do this or I'm it's fucking stupid. I don't know why I suddenly turned into the aardvark from Pink Panther all of a sudden. Everybody's Jackie Mason, but it's time to talk to Netanyahu. That right. So I'm sure he could, but he's not in control of it. But he was on fucking Sitch and Adams show, which is this like long form. I don't even know how to describe it. One of them's on camera, the other isn't. They try to come at it from an enlightened centrist point of view. Although I would argue that Adam is a literalist and is got a real knee-jerk anti-Biden streak in him, which is whatever. What are you gonna do? He's not pro-Trump though, so it's I don't know where he falls in there. But anyways, he gets accused of being right-wing all the time. I don't think he is. But anyways, Cenk went on there because Anna went on there and got a lot of like big thumbs up. So that's why he went on there. And he's yelling at the two of them. I think they both live in LA. I don't know. Anyways, but he's yelling like, "Stop killing babies! You're killing babies! You're bombing!" Like they're not doing shit, stupid. Like it's so weird. Like anyway, so that's why TYT's dog shit. Now, speaking of dog shit, the big story has been that Trump is picking his. Not only is he picking the drapes, he's picking out all these fucking right-wingers are going to surround him. They're going to protect him, and he's going to have his own, Goebbels and Himmler and that kind of crap. And they're going to do whatever he says. And then if anybody tries to impeach him, they're going to close ranks and protect him. Now, can I remind you that all but 3 of the fucking people he put in the cabinet, he hired for that exact same reason? Can I just that like he hired Jeff Sessions because Jeff Sessions was the first guy to support him. Like he was right out of the gate maggot, right? And then he hates the fucking guy for not being his Roy Cohn. Then he brooms him the fuck out and replaces him with Bill Barr under the premise that he's gonna be, his guard dog Roy Cohn. That doesn't fucking happen. They all turn on him. He brings in like Mad Dog Mattis, right? Because he likes Mad Dog right out of Central Castle. Mad Dog, and as same shit happens. None of these motherfuckers are gonna. They're not gonna he's not gonna be president again. But the idea that they would get through the Senate is just dumb. But that's who he's picking. Now, let me remind you. I'll show you. They're heading down. Trump went down to the border to see why his shitty wall it made the border worse, and that's Louis Gohmert right there, leading the way. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer of this of the sycophants pulling Trump's sleigh is Louis fucking Gohmert. Now, watch Louis Gohmert when he comes around the corner and this woman is taking pictures. I haven't watched this segment or whatever, but we'll see some of this. I'm gonna speed through and get to Trump's remarks or whatever, but watch Gohmert. Oh. And she's like, there, I'm taking pictures. Well, how are you? I just think it's funny that he's like, I got scared by somebody taking photographs at a photo event. Now, here comes Trump looking really happy, real excited. This is, yeah, just one.
Good morning. I invite you to pray with me as I bless the food. O gracious and loving God, as we're gathered around these tables, we humbly thank you.
Wait, he starts to serve himself. And here's the contrast. Look at Greg Abbott. Eyes down. Look at the guy next to him, the border agent, eyes down, closed during the prayer. Look at the dude standing in front of the giant thing of hot dog buns, which obviously Trump wishes he could dive into and swim around in like a cartoon dog in a swimming pool full of hot dogs. And look at Trump. Oh yeah, that thing. We'll see. I want to see if he closes his eyes and like, because he got caught off guard. He was not expecting this. He opens the cooler and just decides to like help him. They're like, help yourself. He's like, oh, good. Okay. And then he's having water because I guess this food isn't fast enough for him.
For all that you've given us this past year. Not just what will be on these tables, but who is sitting around these tables today.
There he goes. Closes his eyes for a minute.
Bless our time here today. Bless our conversations.
Hold still.
And our families while we are right. Bless all the men and women that wear the uniform in Texas and who are serving all around the globe this holiday season.
It's like a
We thank
kid.
you for the honor and the ability to serve this nation and the great state of Texas.
Points though for closing your eyes finally though. Realizing that the photographer is running around, which is the woman who went behind him, and if she gets a picture of you with your eyes open while everybody else's eyes are closed, you're kind of fucked. So.
All right, group one, can we have you proceed forward to come and get your place? Just group one.
I'm going to be in charge of water.
Here, President Trump, Edinburgh, Texas. Got border President Brandon Judd on one side of him. And
That's that is, by the way, the voiceover from Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend.
saw Louis Gohmert back here as well.
Boy, did you.
Along the serving line. So it's taking a few minutes to take some pictures.
Have a plate of wieners. Get a picture. Here you are. Is this, by the way, this is what, like, Trump didn't do any of this shit in 2015, 2016. Trump is doing this because all the stories you've heard about his poll numbers are horse shit.
They sent a picture. Well, he doesn't
I got a thumbs up picture. You want some water? Can I interest you? It's not Trump water, but it'll do. Yeah. So anyway, so this goes on for quite some time. And and then yeah, and they just, oh, here we go. Is this the beginning? Yeah. So Abbott introduces him, and then this is the this is the bit. Hold on.
And he didn't want to be here during Thanksgiving week to
So
thank you for
quiet.
what you do. So I would like to hand the mic to President Donald Trump.
By the way, RSBN, your videographer and sound people are fucking aces.
It is a great honor to be with the governor and with Brandon and with all
Jesus Christ, it sounds like he's underwater.
the people living. Thank you very much for being here. There's so many distinguished people, and we're speaking in a couple of minutes also very importantly, but I wanted to thank everybody. Very, very special. What you do is incredible. And you want it to be done right. You know, the easy. I was telling the governor and Brandon a little while ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I got to find a better quality version of this one because it's going to be brutal. Hold on one second. Because CSL got me another version of it for the remarks. But so maybe, just maybe. Oh, okay. This is the speech he gave. Okay, well, this will be a little more tolerable, I think. Hold on one second. I'm on fire. All right, here we go. This is his remarks.
So join me in giving a
This is not the, yeah, he spoke at an outside event, same place, Edinburgh, Texas.
Texas-sized welcome to President Donald J. Trump, the former and future president of the United States of America.
Oh, for God's sake. He only speaks for 11 minutes. Is half of it Lee Greenwood? And I have to sing the songs a half step down, 'cause I can't hit those notes anymore. Okay, quickly, let's dump it free. Jesus Christ, he's not going to stand there in the wind. I mean, obviously, this is definitely hat weather. Jesus Christ. Now he's doing the Hitler waddle. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, thanks very much, everybody.
Get that endorsement in particular because he really.
Hold on. Okay, they faded it out.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very
Jesus.
much. It's a tremendous honor to get that endorsement in particular because he really stepped up. He stepped up to the plate. He's doing the job of what the federal government is supposed to be doing. And I'm just telling you, Mr. Governor, I am going to make your job much easier. You'll be able to focus on other things in Texas. We love Texas, and what they've done is very unfair. They've given the job to you.
They also give the funding to you.
It's a job of security for our country. It's a job of.
Well, you know, there's a real easy answer to this. You could make all the border states give full federal authority over control of the border to federal agents that we bring in from all over the country instead of just hiring locals, which is really what this pissing contest is about.
Stopping an invasion, because it's an invasion. And you've done a great job, and thank you very much for the endorsement, Greg. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. It's a great honor.
Yeah, what a shock. The governor of Texas is going to, next thing you know, well, I was about to say Florida, but that's not happening, is it?
Well, I've been here many times. I would say Biden's probably been here never, okay? He said he was here once, but they're trying to figure out when because it went so quickly. But
by the way, do you guys see the fucking gun on the top of this truck? Where they're stationed, like I guess he's at the military base there or something. That's a fucking 50 cal. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, wait till the wind blows. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's not an accident. What the ever-loving fuck? What? I mean, you're gonna solve America's border issue with a fucking 50 cal. Just fucking and by the way, hold on, let me see if I can find a usage of it. Let's see. See if I can bring this in here. Hold on. Go to here. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, here's a just in case you're not familiar with a 50 cal. This has obviously got the oops, sorry. This has obviously got the shielding on it. Hold on one second. Blink. Oh, get out of here, you jerk. There you go. There you go. There you go. This is Donald Trump's immigration policy. Yeah, that's from the last Rambo movie, and that's that gun. Jesus Christ. Ugh. What a shitheel. And by the way, thanks so much, Chris, by the way, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Gotta reopen my chat room. Yeah, that's in case you haven't I have to say, I was a fan of the most recent or the second to last Rambo movie, which was about Myanmar / Burma. Brutal story, doesn't hold back. It's about what it's about, and that's the best thing you could say about it. But at the very end of it, he ends up seizing control of one of the 50 cals from one of the bad guys, and he just saws people in half with it. And that's that right there. That is. Now, I'm sure somebody will jump in and go, that's the American version of 50 cal. It's a different substructure. It's a much better trigger. It's the same fucking rounds. That's exactly what it is. Just saying. Again, American flags and 50 cals. We're talking about the border here. We're not talking about, and he's calling it an invasion already.
And the person who's in charge of it, Kamala, she's never been here. And you can't be doing your job if you never see your site, your problem, and they're not doing their job. And
yeah, because that's what it is. He's talking about it from a standpoint of a real estate developer.
They're not doing a job in many ways with the economy. They're not doing the job. They're not doing it with security.
What's the job that you want to do? Oh, right, destroy the U.S. economy. Right.
When you look at Afghanistan, I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. I think we've never had anything like that, where they gave up $85 billion worth of brand new.
Oh my fucking God. All right. Now, why is he saying that? Why is he bringing up Afghan military equipment and the lie around that, which we've debunked a bunch of times? Why is he bringing it up? Because he just saw this shit as he was walking up, and that just leapt it to the front of his fucking drug-addled brain.
Beautiful equipment that I bought, by the way.
No, you didn't. That's the total of gear and training by the U.S. military over the course of 20 years.
We rebuilt our entire military. We gave you the greatest tax cuts ever, greatest everything, greatest regulation cuts. We had the greatest economy we've ever had. But they
just zip through the hits. You know what I mean? Don't even sing the verses anymore. Just do a medley of choruses.
Gave up $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful equipment.
No, we didn't.
They gave so much, and then you had the death of those incredible warriors. They were warriors, great people. I've gotten to know the parents so well over the last.
Oh yeah, pop off one of their names, just one.
Last year and a half, incredible people. The parents are devastated because it should have never happened. Should have never happened. And on top of that, we left many people behind, as you know. You've been here.
No, hey, well maybe we left them behind because they didn't have the proper paperwork, and so they've had to find another way into the United States, and some of them are trying to sneak across the southern border because they have that's not a possibility. Weird.
Hearing about it, but I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. So many bad things have happened under the Biden administration. I can't think of anything good. I mean, usually there'll be an administration that there's something positive happens, something.
Right, because the unemployment being below 4% for the longest stretch in 50 years is bad, according to him. An infrastructure bill actually getting passed is bad, according to this. Us actually getting out of Afghanistan is bad, according to him.
Good happens is nothing good happened. The economy is no good. The inflation is the worst ever.
No, it's not.
We were energy independent just 3 years ago.
When nobody was using energy.
We were soon going to be energy dominant, and now we get our oil from Venezuela. How about?
No, we don't. We absolutely do not get our oil from Venezuela. American oil production is at a new height. Set a record twice. It set a record in August, and it broke the record that was set in July.
That one, we get it from Venezuela instead of the beautiful stuff, and that's tar. I say
instead of the beautiful stuff.
We get our tar from Venezuela, not good stuff. And, we refine it, though. If you believe in what goes up into the air, we refine it in a place called Houston. So we get everything the worst. But
So we get everything the worst.
Nothing good has happened in this administration, and we're going to change it. We're going to change it very fast. I want to thank a friend of mine and somebody I got to know very well. He's a warrior. He's an incredible man, Brandon Judd, who really has... he's really amazing because, he's got a very easy job if he doesn't want to do his job. He just has to come in, collect a paycheck. But Border Patrol and ICE, we can't ever forget ICE. ICE goes out there and they meet the enemy. They have a lot of enemies out and a lot of people that shouldn't be in our country.
They meet the enemy.
But they go out and they see these people and these gangs of thugs, and they go right in there and they start swinging. Because there's not a lot of talking. There's a lot of swinging, but not a lot of talking.
What, do they not speak Spanish, or?
And when you look at MS-13, some of the most vicious people you've ever seen, they walk right in, they get them out.
Oh, you mean the American gang that is largely in Brazil?
Took out, Brandon, thousands and thousands of MS-13 during my administration, and we were so proud of it. And so we have to remember Border Patrol, we have to remember ICE, and all of the people that are in law enforcement, including the incredible people from Texas.
The FBI? No. Oh, he's not going to bring them up.
That are now stepping up at a level that nobody's had to do before. You never had to do it.
Well, it's the wall, I think, really. I mean, they didn't, obviously, before the wall was built, they didn't have this problem.
But we're going to make the governor's job very easy, okay? I'm going to make that.
How so? Does it have anything to do with that fucking giant mounted gun behind you, you psychopath?
Very easy. Congresswomen and Louis Gohmert, the great.
Congresswomen and Louis. That's one of my favorite political sitcoms.
Louis Gohmert. We're going to make the jobs in this state very, very easy. We're going to take over that border, and we're going to make it. We had the most secure border in our history. Now we have the most unsecure border in the history.
So it was the most secure before the wall, and then,
I believe, really, of the world. I don't think there's ever been a country in history that's had a border where millions and millions and millions of people are flowing into our country.
Literally, like at the end of Afghanistan, people were flooding across into Pakistan and Iran. This motherfucker knows nothing about Sudan, any of these places. These third world countries.
A ninth world country, not a third world country, a ninth world country.
Good point.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And a lot of people, they say 3 million, 4 million, 5. No, I believe by the end of this...
It'll be 20 million.
Administration, it'll be 15 million people. That's bigger than New York State. Will have come into our country illegally. And many of those people, you don't want them in our country.
Hold on one second. I'm just throwing that out there. That's why he'll go to 20. It's because somebody's going to tell him that the population of New York is 20 million, and then he's going to go, it probably is 20 million. It's probably 20 million. 20 million. It's probably 20 million.
They always get the fake news media right back there. Oh, that's a lot of media, by the way. That's a lot of fake news back there.
It's RSBN and your own campaign staff, fuckwad.
No, some of them are very good. I can tell you. See, there's one camera way back in the corner. He's okay. But no, the media doesn't want to hear that. But the media has to get on their game. They're doing very poorly. They have the fewest views they've ever had.
The fewest views. Oh, do they? They have the fewest views? That even feels silly to say. The fewest views. I don't know why that's so funny. The fewest views they've ever had.
At least in modern times. And
At least in modern, yeah, sure. Obviously, back, the media had fewer views, I don't know, before television. In modern times. Sorry.
they're doing very poorly, and part of the reason is they lost credibility. They can be a warrior for what's right for our country. They can also report like the stories like this, like the job that Border Patrol does and ICE does, and
that they've stopped doing, apparently. They're not doing, that they can't do, that they're unable to do, they're not being allowed to do it. Explain. What is it? What's causing more people to actually make it across the border? After the wall, are you telling us the Customs and Border Patrol just said, fuck it, let them come? Because if I can't have Donald Trump as my president, I want this whole fucking place to collapse? Is that the argument? Or did the wall make it worse, which it did because of the access road?
the Texas law enforcement does and the governor does. They don't want to report those stories, but we have to because...
Well, there's a big story about the Operation Lone Star and the number of suicides in the Texas National Guard because he was forcefully conscripting National Guard troops to work on the border to no avail, apparently. Parking them out in the middle of fucking nowhere where they encountered no one.
Our country is going to hell.
I thought it already was hell. I mean, hasn't it been going to hell for a long time? How far is hell anyway? I honestly, because I have to pee. Can we at least pull over on our way to hell for just like to stretch our legs or something?
Our country is going to hell.
All right. Are we in hell or are we going to hell? All right.
We have some people that either they don't care, they're not very smart, or they hate our country. And nobody really knows the answer because who?
Well, here's why. Nobody really knows the answer because you don't actually care to talk about the material solutions that are at issue, because if you bring them up, you'll see that Democrats have proposed them and Republicans have shot them down because a porous border helps Republicans for election purposes in theory.
Who could object to voter ID? Who could object to a wall? A wall. I was
a wall
saying before, wheel.
I don't know, the people of East and West Berlin. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. Steven Tyler and Run DMC. Just saying. You ever watched the video?
Wheels and walls. They work.
Wheels and walls.
Wheels and walls. Everything else gets.
I know. Maybe that's the problem. Did you put wheels on the wall? Are people just sliding it like a fucking like a fucking closet door?
Old and tired and up.
Oh my God! Who built the wall this way? Hack! It's off the track. I can't fucking. Somebody help me reset this thing. It's cattywampus.
Obsolete very quickly. Your phone that you're taking pictures with, and about a month from now they'll have a better phone. Everything, but wheels and walls, they work, and we don't need the wheels. We just need the walls.
What the fuck you gonna put on the vehicles that they used to patrol the border with? Fucking skis? What? I wish there was just somebody cut immediately to a dude with one of the ATVs that the guys from Customs and Border Patrol uses, just like, and just pull out a fucking wrench and just start taking the tires up. I just put them on. We don't need wheels.
And it worked. So we had the safest border in our history. And you know, when I first ran in 2016, the border was really bad. Nothing like it is now. It was
right. So before you got into office, border, you complained, said it was bad, but not nearly as bad. After your presidency and the building of the wall, which you said is amazing,
It was like incredible compared to the way it is now. But the border was bad. And I ran largely on the border, and I fixed it.
Yeah,
So good that in 2020, I couldn't even talk about it. My people would...
Because human beings in the United States, in the country that you were president of, were dying by the tens of thousands.
Say, sir, you're wasting your time by talking about the border.
People are worried about dying here. Then nobody's coming into the country because nobody's going anywhere. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Because we had it fixed. The ranchers and the people that own homes along the
The ranchers.
they told me it was the greatest period of time they've ever had.
Yeah, you stayed home, didn't have to go anywhere, order Postmates out to the ranch. Did you talk to the ranchers? You did you? And they said it was the best time ever because Mexicans were afraid of coming into the United States because we had more cases than they did. Now, that's about measurement. I don't think that the Mexican government has the means and wherewithal to actually do, a health census like that, quite frankly, in a lot of its territories. In the United States, we have an issue because maggots will run you off their property if you ask them if they have the sniffles because they think you're part of some UN shock troop gang. But in Mexico, they just don't have the funds.
Years. And now they say it's the worst that anybody's ever seen. They're afraid to walk out. They can't walk out. They want to leave. They want to sell their homes, but they can't get people to buy them. But
Really? There's no cartel guys that have got a lot of money sloshing around, or can't sell their house to a nice Mexican family? Who, I'm kidding.
we're going to make those homes very valuable. Just hold on to your homes. But it was the best period of time that they've ever had, and we're going to do that again.
You're going to do COVID again? Great. That's great. You should run on that. Make COVID great again.
So we did so well in 2016 to 2020 that we couldn't talk about it. I would go and tell my people, why don't you talk about the border? They say, sir, nobody cares about the border because we fixed it. I said, let's.
Yeah, that's what they said. First of all, yes, he did talk about the border. What the fuck are you talking about?
Talk about the fact that we fixed it. Nobody cared about that either. All they knew is the border worked. And then
all they knew was that, yeah, that's what everybody was thinking during the last couple of months of 2020. All they could think about is the border works. Everybody was in their fucking house, stupid.
guys got in here. I won't say how, but you know how. And the whole thing blew up everywhere. Not only the border is one of the real bad ones because you have some real bad people coming into our country.
Hombres, I think they're called.
But these guys got in and the economy went haywire and inflation went through the roof. And inflation was caused by energy. It was really caused largely by energy. Now,
yes, the fact that we weren't using any and then we were using all of it really quickly.
Everything is so inflated. And then when it goes to 4%.
How inflated is it? Is that the proper way to describe inflation, is how things are inflated?
Like recently, it was at 4.2%. But what about the 27% that it lifted over a short period of 2.5 years where people they're dying. They can't.
Okay, this asshole thinks we have compound inflation. This asshole thinks that bacon is 30% higher than it was a year and a half ago. He thinks that eggs are 60% more expensive than they were a year and a half ago. He thinks that inflation, monetary inflation, like overall across the entire economy, means that the prices just keep getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, nonstop all the fucking time at that percentage. Like that. He actually thinks that.
They can't live. Inflation is known as a country buster.
That's what they call it. I've heard of that, But of course, tell that to Erdogan.
It busts countries.
That's what country buster means. I was. You guys were wondering. I was wondering. So what? Hold on. How do you describe that for me again, Pipsqueak? What was it? What was this shit again? Inflation's a what?
For a short period of 2.5 years, where people they're dying. They can't live. Inflation is known as a country buster. It busts countries.
Okay, first of all, people are dying from inflation, according to this dickhead, because they can't afford to live. It reminds me of in Dumb and Dumber, where he's like, we don't have enough money to eat. We don't have enough money to sleep. Our pets' heads are falling off.
For hundreds of years, You go back
I truncated that scene, but you get where
to
I'm going.
old Germany. You go back to any country that
You go back to what? Go back to where?
they can't live. Inflation is known as a country buster. It busts countries. This is for hundreds of years. You go back to old Germany. You go back to any country that's had inflation.
Any country that's had inflation. Okay, first of all countries have inflation, dumb fuck. They all do. It's sort of the premise based on like compounded interest, largely. Now, if you're talking about runaway inflation, we have the best inflation of any of the industrialized world. Because everybody's got it. They just got it worse than we do.
It breaks up the country. And we've had
I see. Is that what busted means? That's what busted means, in case you were wondering. It breaks it up. I thought busted meant something else. I honestly.
the worst inflation we've had in 72 years, caused by energy, but now it's everything.
Yeah, everything causes it. Everything. Gingivitis, inflation. Updates, software updates, inflation. If you have a flat tire, inflation. If you fill it up, inflation. Change your diet, inflation.
So I just want to tell you, I love this state. We won the state twice. We won
That's why he loves it.
2 primaries and 2 races by landslides. So I can't say that anything bad about the state of Texas. If I did, that governor right there would rip me off the stage. He'd rip me. I'd be, and you don't know how strong he is. I've seen him move into a chair once. I said, Governor, you are.
Oh, dear God. No. Come on. He's not.
Stronger than anybody I've ever seen. He's an incredible guy and an incredible.
Because he's paralyzed and he has to move himself with his own arms. So he has to lift his own upper and lower body and put himself in a position. And this motherfucker is just staring at him, going like, I have trouble getting up out of a chair. I can't imagine. Jesus Christ.
Incredible man. But we're going to make that job very
What
easy
the
for you, Governor.
hell?
You're going to go back to normal governing. Things like streets and education and medical.
Wait a minute. You think are you basically saying he's blown that off this entire time?
And you're not
What makes you think he's interested in those things?
going to have to worry about the border anymore, Governor. Your people have been so incredible. You're not going to have to worry about the border in Texas or in Arizona or anywhere else where it's such a complete disaster. So I just want to thank everyone.
Why don't you go there? Why don't you go to Arizona and Southern California, like down near San Diego or something like that? Oh, is it because you can't be guaranteed a sycophant audience?
Everybody for being here. Tremendous people, tremendous state. We love it very much. And
Tremendous guns.
I'm honored by
Tremendous trucks.
the governor's endorsement. That's a big endorsement. He's not free and easy with endorsements. You look at his record. You don't do too many endorsements, I have to tell you that, Governor. So this meant a lot to me, and it's an honor to have come here and to accept it. And it's an honor to be with everybody today. And we are going to go out and we're going to make America great again. It's very simple. We're going to make
So simple. It is simple. Simply, and all we got to do is put me in the White House, and ta-da.
America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Really? Really? They're going to play Hold On, I'm Coming again? Which, by the way, is the song he picked at these post-January 21st rallies that he was doing when they decided he could be reinstalled when he was buying that load of bullshit. They started playing Hold On, I'm Coming. Yeah, 4 years later. Yikes. Okay, there it is. So that's his little remarks. And here he is. Wait, hold on. And I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget. It's like the worst karaoke in the history of the world. Louie, Louie. Oh, baby. We gotta go, Mert. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Oh, boy. So, anyways, that's the little gathering his crowd there. Now, let me do this real quick. Let me find this. Hold on. Pause. Now, I had to get back to, yeah.
It'll make sense in a second.
Oh, yeah, none of this makes sense. So, one of the big things is all the footage that is being released to, like, right-wingers. Like, they're posting all this footage of the, of January 6th. And it's footage. Hours and hours of footage. Now, let me tell you something, kids. If I had hours and hours and hours of footage that proved my case, Austin Bryant, what's happening? Austin Bryant, hey, man. Yeah, we have to get him in here. You want to, maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to stop by the show Wednesday or Friday? What do you think? Can you join us at some point? Anyways, so they, let me tell you, if I had footage that disproved a great conspiracy, fucking, like, like if they had the entire footage of the Georgia election stuff, and you can see very clearly, like, it's super high quality, and you can see that they obviously weren't bringing ballots out from under the table and all that kind of stuff, which you can see and everybody knows. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, if there was, like, they said something happened, and then we got footage, like the leak, like that the leak happened at 9 a.m. and not at 11 p.m. like they say. And so the footage comes out from 20 different cameras of that area of what happened when the actual leak happened, how short it actually was. All right. If it was necessary, and I'd been grinding on this for, you know, and everything had gone against what I was trying to say, and then finally this broke it loose, and I could show you this footage, and ta-da, I would have it running as my background while I was talking on every fucking show. Let me get this over here. Sorry, I don't know why it slid to the side. Right? I would have that footage just running in the background as on a loop. Right? Like, here's everybody just doing their shit. Anytime I turn around, look at that. Nobody's doing shit. Okay. But the footage has come out, and I'll show you, it's interesting to me. Let me show you. This is how stunningly full of shit it is. This is a woman named Julie Kelly. But she's on Bannon's War Room. Look at this. This is Bannon. This is another clip. Bannon, the Republican establishment hates you as much as more than the right or left, whatever. This kind of thing. Notice how they're using this one source of one moment of footage as if this is the this sort of Benny Johnson clip that they're running. Is that the same? Yeah, they got it from him. I don't know why they don't get it directly from wherever, but this is sourced out. We'll look at it in a minute. But normally, ladies and gentlemen, Bongholio, we haven't seen him in a while because he doesn't put out short clips anymore because he's scared of the criticism. But let me show you what his shtick is in this stuff. So this is, he pulls out footage and there's an appeal to emotion right out of the gate. And then there's also, like, he uses, remember, this is video footage. Thousands of hours of it.
Is this a VO or is that? Yeah, okay. Check this out. Here's a video from inside the Capitol. You're going to see a guy in a red shirt there walking by.
Mm-hmm. No timestamp. No location information. Just a shot of him walking.
You see him?
Yep, on a loop too. So obviously he just, was there a time scrape where he walked through it? It was like 12:01 p.m.
Some of you see where I'm going with this.
No, I don't.
Dan, that's what you're pulling this video for. Folks, does that look like a takeover of government to you?
No, as a matter of fact, in the 40,000 hours, you picked people who were marching in a straight line. What they did on either side of it, or how they actually got into the building, is the part of it. By this time, we're at the neutered point, but we'll see, because you didn't timestamp it. We don't know when this happened during the day, so yeah.
That guy you're looking at right there that Guy stopped on is dead.
Okay.
That's Matthew Perna.
Oh, it's the guy who did himself in?
He was only in the Capitol a few minutes, didn't steal anything, didn't burn anything.
Just stepped over an unconscious police officer to get in there?
Didn't beat anyone up, didn't bear spray or shoot anyone.
Just benefited from the bear spray and the physical altercations? By the way,
Matthew Perna is...
That's not, is that the entirety of him in the building?
dead. Matthew Perna was locked up by our FBI. And during the course of the plea agreement, our Department of Justice decided for that they were going to seek a terrorism enhancement for Matthew Perna.
Because of what he was posting, because he was on his phone filming things and threatening people's lives and that kind of stuff. Not just because he was, they didn't like the way he walked. It was it was the color of his hoodie that got him.
9 years in prison he could have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Matt took a rope and hung himself.
Was it related to this?
In his garage. You play that again, Guy? Would you mind? 9 years in prison for that?
No, 9 years in prison for, and I'm assuming he didn't even get the 9 years in prison. He did this before. He didn't actually go to trial. But what he's filming there and what he's posting there while he's in there, which is once we find these motherfuckers, we're going to kill them kind of stuff. That's why. Also, again, is the self-off switch aspect of this due to that potential 9-year sentence that they were looking for? Because if he thought he could have won and he believed in Donald Trump and he could find a way out and blah, 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 that seems a bit extreme considering other people fought it and went through it. Don't shake your fucking head like you can relate those two things. Also, this is not the entirety of him in the Capitol. Is it because he's what he saw before or after? Is it because of what he participated in before or after?
9 years. Terrorism. This is why the left, ladies and gentlemen, did not want you to see this.
See what? We saw all this shit before.
The left didn't want you to see this because now they...
This dude didn't get fucking executed. He did himself in because either if it was related to this, what he was going to face in court, or something wholly unrelated.
They know you know that we do not...
No, the cops didn't shoot him. He's not another fucking Ashley Babbitt.
Have two systems of justice. We have one. It is a communist system of justice.
What? No, by the way, I don't know if he knows this, but in communist systems, you are not in charge of giving yourself capital punishment.
A hierarchy. If you are a Trump...
by the way, he uses hierarchy a lot, and it's very weird because, Jordan Peterson's, been pushing this whole like pro-hierarchy idea that, hierarchies based on competence are necessary for society versus hierarchies based on, birthright or other shit or racist nonsense or whatever. And I think that's why the word is stuck in his head. But again, it's one of those like, you keep using that word.
Reporter, and you do that. You walk in the Capitol, some through an open door. You don't get charged with trespass. You get a terrorism enhancement.
Not just for walking.
Potentially 9 years in jail. Or even...
Okay. Here we go. Let's look at let's see. Perlman, Gen 6 signed. Hold on. This is okay, so this is the New York Post story about this. Hold on. Capitol rioter dies by suicide of broken heart over case. Let's see. Close this. This is take this with a grain of salt. It's the New York Post. A Capitol rioter killed himself while awaiting sentencing, dying from a broken heart over his case and because the justice system killed his spirit and his zest for life, according to Kent. Matthew Perna, who pleaded guilty in December to 4 charges related to attempted insurrection, killed himself at home on Friday, which is very sad. Like, this is totally unnecessary. The constant delays in hearings, postponements dragged out over a year. Because of this, Matt's heart broke and his spirit died, says his obituary at the Herald. Matt did not have a hateful bone in his body, embraced people of all races, income brackets, and beliefs, never once berating anyone for having different views, the obit added. He drove to Washington to attend Trump's rally and later entered the U.S. Capitol, where he was caught on video wearing a red Make America Great Again hoodie, chanting USA. The FBI also found video of Perna talking about walking right into the Capitol building with the purpose of exposing Mike Pence as a traitor, as the Veep attempted to certify the president. Okay. Again, what's the result of being a traitor. Perna, a follower of the QAnon conspiracy movement, admitted to the FBI that he was at the Capitol for about 5 or 10 minutes, but claimed he was pushed inside by a crowd and that he didn't intend to enter the building. His criminal complaint states, during a subsequent interview, he copped to using a metal pole to tap on a window outside the Capitol because he was frustrated. To tap on a window. The Pennsylvania man pleaded guilty to all 4 charges he was hit with and was due to sentence April 1st for the district. He attended a rally on Jan 6 to peacefully stand up for his belief. After learning that the FBI was looking for him, he immediately turned himself in. They wrote in his obituary, he entered the Capitol through a previously open door. He did not break it in as reported. He didn't break, touch, or steal anything. He didn't harm anyone. He stayed with within velvet rope taking pictures. For this act, he was persecuted by many members of his community, friends, relatives, people who never met him. Many people were quietly supportive, and Matt was truly grateful for them. His family noted that he graduated from Pennsylvania State University, loved animals, spent time traveling throughout Europe, Asia, South America, India, and the U.S., They stood by him during this devastating thing. They say God never forgives anyone more than they can handle. The statement is not biblical, nor is it true. Rest easy, Matt. You are finally free, in all caps, in true Trumpy fashion. There he is, by the way. This is a picture of him in the crowd that overran the cops, beating them. So the idea, again, does anybody think that if you go to Bongholio's house when his family's home and you're the second person through the window, you can stay? The first person he might shoot or have an altercation with, but everybody after that is just a peaceful person, just a pedestrian, really. Right. And obviously if they're, you having not gone through a metal detector, not, having cargo pants on or a backpack or nobody can hide a gun under a hoodie, thank God. Meanwhile, there he is. Yep. Again, a sad story, but not indicative of some bullshit where he was hung, but these fuckers built a gallows.
Eventually hung himself.
Which is what he and others had planned for the traitor Mike Pence that day. Oh, the irony.
You're a leftist. You march inside the Capitol and occupy Kevin McCarthy's office during the CR and you don't leave? What happens to you? Jack shit. And Jack left town.
Yeah, but you actually entered through the metal detectors and then you occupied this by sitting down. You didn't storm in through the windows and you didn't knock down cops on your way in. You entered through normal means and then occupied. That's how all these folks got in for the CR occupation, or anybody like people from the ADA, who support the ADA or showing up in the hallway in wheelchairs. They didn't storm the fucking place. They got in legitimately and then they refused to leave. That's different. Also, the CR itself is not the counting of the electoral ballots. As a matter of fact, it is I would argue that our budgetary needs are crucial, but they are not nearly as time sensitive as, say, the counting of the votes and the establishment of new leadership. Because if that were true, then the Republicans trying to stop the vote on it entirely or trying to block having one at all would be guilty of insurrection every time they try to do it.
You understand why they wanted to hide these tapes from you?
No. I understand why you don't want to show other video of this dude, especially in the crowd in the front where they've just overrun the cops.
It's not for the reasons you think.
No. Well, it's in all fairness, Bongholio viewers, not a lot of thinking going on.
They wanted to hide these tapes from you because they don't want you to be able to compare and contrast them to what the left gets away with, because what hierarchies and tyrannies don't want.
Yes, because if you burn down a Target in Minneapolis in the summer of 2020, it might seize up our democracy.
More than anything is exposure. They don't want to be exposed.
Yes, unlike, I guess, youth pastors and all the guys who worked for Trump who've been guilty of exposing themselves, or that guy that Rudy Giuliani brought to Four Seasons public farm equipment, where he was the first guy up. That Rudy was like, we got several people to talk, but my first choice is this dude who exposed himself to an 8 and 11-year-old.
And that's why they hid these tapes for so long.
No, they didn't. McCarthy kept them back, and they gave them to. If they were hiding them, why the fuck didn't? Why didn't? If Tucker wasn't going to use them, why didn't he pass on his fucking password to you? Good Lord.
I got another one coming up. I'm not.
Oh, well, shit. Take back everything I said. He's got another one.
I'm not downplaying anything here, but there's clearly.
I'm not downplaying anything here. I'm just not showing the cops getting beaten, bear sprayed, overrun, having fucking fire extinguishers and flagpoles thrown at them and jabbed into their head. I'm not showing any of that shit. And I am taking one shot of this dude walking through a hallway at his most peaceable in an attempt to convince you that in a court of law, this was the single piece of evidence against this gentleman. And that, I mean, did he really hang himself if he was waiting to go on trial if we have a communist judicial system? Because in many ways, didn't they kill him?
Another story to tell here that they've been trying to hide from you. He's
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Another story to tell that they've been trying to hide. Let's hear it.
Tapes get even worse.
Do they? Well, I mean, they'd have to, kind of.
Let me take a quick break, folks.
Oh, God. Let me do a quick commercial after the dude who did himself in and sell you on a mattress.
Partner 25. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Started for me last night. I slept 8 hours and 20 minutes, which is freaking crazy. I never sleep that long.
8 hours and 20 minutes? Would you go click and sleep? All right.
Here's another one, folks.
Okay, here's another one. Here's another one, and then we'll move on.
This is another video. The January 6th Democrats, the Liz Cheney and Kinzinger Democrats. Oh, they're Republicans. No, they're not. This is what they wanted to hide to you, which is the weirdest thing because, look, there's again, you see some Capitol Police officers. You see
walking backwards because there's a threat.
Backing up.
See the guys with the red hats that are already in here? See these guys? Where they are, this is where they were corralling. But notice no fucking timestamp on this shit at all. I would like to say that right out of the gate. Put the fucking time of day up here, asshat. All these motherfuckers. Tucker did it. Tucker was fucking like reversing shit and putting like clips of the shaman, in reverse order of him walking down the hallway at different times and using footage that wasn't even from the Capitol Police. It was actually from inside, taken by other people that like the New Yorker got. Let's look at this.
This
again.
is what they wanted to hide to you, which is
yeah. And police don't walk backwards away from people unless they like them. It's kind of like a mating ritual, like birds.
It's the weirdest thing because look, there's again, you see some Capitol Police officers.
Yeah, it looks like they're herding psychopaths.
You see backing up, the doors open.
Yeah, they're trying to slow them down and they're trying to lead them in one direction.
People walking in. Again, I'm not telling you this on another story that went on outside. We've seen
outside. The fuck are you talking about? There is no story inside if there isn't a story outside. If you didn't have to violently attack the fucking building, once they're inside, the cops are they're outmanned. They're overwhelmed at this point. And they've come up with a plan because they know which hallways are sealed and which aren't to lead these dumb fucks through these hallways into the rotunda and out the other side so they get dumped back out onto the fucking street. And the vast majority of them, they really believe, will go that way and go out this way. And that's exactly what happened.
1,000 times. I've commented on that. I'm not afraid of talking about that story. I've said it 1,000 times, folks, probably more.
Yeah, I don't have to reiterate the fact that bad things happened outside. I just have to, hopefully ignore the fact that, the cops were technically outside when they were dragged out by the mob, beaten and tased and pepper sprayed. So that happened outside. I guess outside. They took Rosalind, what's her name's, what was her, damn, I'm blitzing on her name. The girl who died of a drug overdose and was like the cops were trying to revive her after the maggots had walked over her body. She technically, they took her away on a gurney. That was outside.
The videos
Rosalind Boylan, thank you. Roseanne Boylan, thank you.
Like that drive them crazy because they knew if they kept it hidden that they could keep telling America that when people were inside the Capitol, it was a mass rampage of them trying to burn the place to the ground to keep the narrative going.
Also, no one ever said that. The point was to get inside there and force the representatives to vote for Donald Trump, to hold the place. It wasn't a torch mob to gut the fucking place. Again, this weird comparison between like people burning down a Target and what these assholes were intending to do once they got into the fucking Capitol. They were intending on taking Mike Pence outside and hanging him and shooting Nancy Pelosi in the fucking head and installing Donald Trump. They didn't want to destroy the Capitol. They didn't have anything against the building. They wanted to seize control of it.
It was a government take.
But they were also stupid.
Over. Look at this. I'm not telling you it's the only story. I want to be clear. I'm just telling you I'm not afraid of the whole story. It's the left who's afraid of showing.
We saw tons of this fucking footage. What is he talking about?
You this. Not me. There were hours of video like that.
Right. Because there were thousands of these fuckers that they were herding through.
They do not want you to see it.
Why would we give a fuck? Why does he think we wouldn't want them to see that these assholes, after they stepped over the bodies of police officers and attempted to bash their heads in, like were climbing up the outside of the steps, that when cops finally were trying to get a hold of things and source them through and out the other side of the building, that they did it with some level of dignity and didn't start shit with these assholes for fear of their own safety. While, again, this is why you won't see any timestamps on any of this shit. This is it. This is why none of these, what the right doesn't want you to see, is the fucking timestamps.
Which tells you we're in a hierarchy.
Yeah, hierarchy. It's a hierarchy, guys. It's higher than the archy is hierarchy with the hierarchy of people that do the hierarchy things. Again, a hierarchy? I mean, I know they mean a two-tiered justice system and somebody's in the higher justice system than the people in the lower justice system, but hierarchy. Try harder.
I want to just throw this tweet up there. This may seem totally random.
This is all, and it's okay, Bongholio. This is all totally random. You picked a random shot of this guy tweeting a death threat probably to somebody who did himself in, and you want to blame the Justice Department because his community and people around him had turned on him, so he felt isolated and he did himself in, which you should never do. But that somehow that's him being assassinated by communists. And then you want to show this other herding picture, which is, again, random, happening at the exact same time that they're beating cops in another doorway.
But again, we are in a hierarchy.
It's a hierarchy, guys. It's higher than the archy.
Not two systems of justice. There's one.
One hierarchy.
Some guy gave us this. Hold on.
Yeah, get it. I'll wait.
He gave us this handy-dandy middle finger guy.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a hand posing thing. You can get them at Michael's. It's for artists to draw the hand.
Okay, so yeah. This is what they're doing to you. Here. It's
a little bent. That's a little
what
weird.
The left is doing to you.
Christ, and I thought my desk was a mess. Look at the angle on this. Look at that. He's got little football guys. He's got a baseball with his name on it. His coffee's behind him. He's got some, I don't know, he's got, what is that, L-theanine, so that he didn't get shaky from the amount of caffeine he's consuming. A lot of baseballs.
They don't care. The left does not care. Put up that.
We don't care about a wooden middle finger.
KTVU tweet, Aggie. Look, so a bunch of pro-terrorists who support terrorism.
Okay, the traffic jam caused by a Bay Bridge protest delayed the delivery of organs for transplant surgeries, UCSF told KTVU. Right.
Clogged up the Bay Bridge out in California.
And KTVU, being the liberal media that it is, cheered this and said, we hope those capitalist people waiting on their kidneys die because climate something. I don't know what the Bay Bridge protesters were talking about.
They delayed the delivery of organs for transplant surgeries, possibly getting people killed. What happened to them? Nothing. Yet, Geef, can you go back to that second?
By the way, I would like to remind you, this fuckhead was defending the Canadian truckers who were blocking roads as if nobody had to get to the hospital during that time. Also, possibly?
Video again, please, from the Capitol. The VO. Block organ trend. These guys, 25 years, terrorism.
None of those people got 25 fucking years.
Folks, this is hierarchy.
Guys, it's hierarchy. Jesus Christ. Hierarchy. You do realize no organizations function without a structural hierarchy, right? Is this guy now saying we shouldn't have a president or a senate or a vice president, or it should all be the House now, I guess? And then who's to say who the House members are? Are they supposedly higher in the hierarchy than their constituents? Why doesn't everyone just move to Washington, D.C. and camp out?
It's not two systems of justice. Stop saying that.
I'm not saying we have it. You're saying that. I mean, this is a gripe you have with your own people. This is fucking stupid.
There's one. There's we're in charge and you are not.
Well, that's... What do you think these people were trying to do, stupid? These people were literally attacking the Capitol in effect to say, we're in charge and you're not. It's been a while since we've seen Bongholio, and I don't know why I thought it was impossible for him to get dumber, and yet he's always surprising us, and that's exciting. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, and of course, I'm on fire. Like, his reading comprehension has really gone downhill. That hierarchy thing. Now, let's jump over to the other crowd. This is over in Bannon World, and she says the breaking of the dam. Kelly reacts to Speaker Johnson releasing 44,000 hours of Jan 6 footage. Here you go. This is what happened.
Julie Kelly.
Julie Kelly.
They're not happy that
they aren't.
The footage has finally been released. Folks, I want you to understand.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the people who were there on January 6th who were this close to getting like a plea deal, and then the footage, released has people combing through it going, wait a minute, that motherfucker did hit somebody.
After 11 months in power, Mike Johnson finally gives us the footage. Julie, walk us through all of it, ma'am.
So let's take a little victory lap here. As I said on Twitter last night, we have to take the small victories when we get them.
Yes, and this is a very small victory and a huge loss.
And
it's only a big loss if you're one of the Jan 6ers and you thought you were going to get a break, but now you've got everybody can see this footage, and therefore they're going to comb through it and go, hey, what about this motherfucker? He didn't get charged for beating up a policeman, and there he is.
Certainly is
like the amount of citizen sleuthing that they're turning loose on this is uncharted. Like it's like no one's ever seen before.
Victory. You have been pressuring House Republicans to do this. I certainly.
Right, like an idiot.
I have my first article about releasing the tapes I wrote in May of 2021.
Right, and it was dumb then, it's dumber now.
We found out that at least 14,000 hours of security footage had been put under protective orders as court proceedings occurred for January 6th.
What are they doing to this guy? What in the world?
Moon River.
What's he trying? What are you hiding down there? Every time you fart, there's a weird whistling noise. Did you steal a stapler? They took my stapler.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
defendants. So this is a big win because, to your point, all the right people are melting down.
Are they? The only reason they're upset is because this shows where all the security cams are, and now the taxpayer has to spend money to fucking move them so that in round 2, these dumb fucks can't go, if you move along this wall, because I guarantee they're plotting it right now. This is what they're all doing. They're like, the security cam's over here. So if you keep your head turned to the right as you go through there, you can avoid that camera. And then you just walk along this wall to the left, and then 2 shuffles over. And if you just put your hand in front of your face, when you take 2 steps over by that pillar, you can walk through and you can get through the whole place and nobody can see you. You don't even have to wait for another Jan 6. You can just sneak in. And by the way, this is when they change shifts. And here's footage of them, you know, of where they sit. So they won't even see your gun, that kind of shit.
Not just the people that you see on MSNBC, but you see Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger lashing out, Jamie Raskin lashing out. But look, this is just the start. The American people have not seen this footage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've seen plenty of footage. We've seen the shit this was related to that was filmed by these dickheads and put on Facebook.
We have seen some of it.
By the way, yeah, everybody in the chat room, let me know if you're melting down. It was a little toasty in here for the morning show, but right now it's much cooler. Thank you. I think I am feeling a little squishy. I don't know if I'm melting officially. What a world! What a world!
I have access to some of this footage. I've seen it. I've posted some of it.
Oh my gosh.
But the majority of the public has not seen this. And that is why these people are freaking out.
No, not really freaking out. I mean, there's security issues, but yeah, I don't have a problem with this.
And this is just the beginning of the breaking of the dam here.
Also, you're going to hear this too. You're going to hear this fallacy. There's thousands of hours of this footage. Technically, that's true in terms of footage. It is not true in terms of the fucking day. The day still played out the way the day played out. It was still 8-9 hours in a row in the regular order of fucking time. It's just hours and hours of footage of it, filming it from different angles. But it's the same fucking day. There are literally, I wouldn't doubt it, Republicans who think 14,000 hours, like, this must go back months.
Steve, there's going to be more footage released that not just show police helping people in, but the level of police brutality that day that
police brutality. Fuck you, lady.
Prompted a lot of the clashes between.
Whoa, that prompted the clashes. I didn't realize we were going. We've gone all the way from back the blue to blame the blue. Shit.
Protesters and
so the protesters had to attack?
And police. There's going to be a lot more seen.
Hey, look, people leaving. It's almost like you could tie that footage I was talking about to this very fucking door, which is later in the day, and everybody, when they're coming in, they're like, okay, let them walk this way, and then try to get them, you guys stand by this door, and they'll walk that way, and then just don't let them pass this door, and if they try to go, you know, hopefully you won't have to fight anybody, but if you can block them, don't let them that way, and then fucking, it's a fucking cattle pen.
And as I said, this is the beginning of the breaking of the dam. To the point that you have made and I've made also, we need a January 6th select committee run by Republicans. Put these people like Tim Heaphy, who was just interviewed. Why did Tim Heaphy cover up, Heapy or whatever his name is? Why did the January 6th committee cover up parts of their investigation related to the involvement of federal agencies and the FBI? Why didn't the January 6th committee interview FBI Director Christopher Wray? How can you have
an and by the way, there's the QAnon shaman after he was herded out, no pun intended. Why didn't they interview them? Because the informants are still embedded with these fucking psychopaths and they don't want to get them killed. They're not FBI agents.
Investigation and not interview the head of the top law enforcement agency in the country.
He's been, how many times are they going to drag him in front? Every time Christopher Wray has an appropriations meeting in front of, committee hearing, they always ask him about this shit.
So there's a lot more truth to be revealed about
No, again, what's the footage here? That they are getting people the fuck out of there, because notice how many, there are 4, I see 3 cops in this area, and there are dozens of these fucking maggots who, if they get riled up, could overwhelm the police there. So they're just trying to peaceably get these motherfuckers out of there. We got plenty of footage. We'll catch you later, asshole.
January 6th. And Steve, you could see the response on our side on social media. This is a huge issue to the base.
Why are we re-showing this dude's colonoscopy?
Moon River.
And Republicans are getting to see that first and foremost.
Like this, I'd probably feel 100%.
Moon River.
Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
This is a huge issue, not just the truth and the cover-up, but of course the 1,200 Americans and counting who have been ensnared in this abusive, retaliatory Department of Justice investigation. I was just in Washington this week. I sat in jury selection for another January 6th defendant.
Okay, this dude, they cuffed him on the other side of this. They walked him to the fucking exit, and they basically said, look, I'm going to uncuff you. I'm going to let you go. By the way, most people don't know the difference between being detained and being arrested. Arrested means you have to be read your rights and all that stuff, but detained is a temporary thing. And when you get pulled over for drunk driving or being erratic, or if they are worried you have a knife or a gun in your car, they can tell you to step out of the car, and if they do it, and they can cuff you during that period, so you can't attack them while they look in your back seat or in the trunk if they think they have probable cause, and if they don't, you can sue them later. So be cool. But in this process, this dude was being detained temporarily, and they walked him through because of whatever concerns. We don't know what it led to this, but they got him to the door and were like, I'm going to uncuff you and let you go, but you got to fuck off. And he's like, thanks for letting me. I didn't mean to do blah, blah, blah. And he fist bumps the dude and he leaves.
478 days between his arrest and his trial. And watching this DC jury pool come through, the comments that they make about January 6th and the protesters speaks to not just the unfair trials that are going on.
Hey, asshole. This is the DC jury pool. You know what they all have in common? It's their fucking town. Meanwhile, the vast majority of these motherfuckers were interloper, carpetbagger, listen to me, carpetbagger revolutionaries from out of town who were like, we're going to take this place over. Yeah, I imagine they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder about the changes that were made in the environment. A lot of those fuckers just went home. The vast majority of the people there just went the fuck home. Meanwhile, the DC residents have to live with the heightened security around the Capitol, which is central to the entire fucking city.
But how in the hell is Donald Trump going to get a fair jury seated for his March 4th trial in the nation's capital? There's so much happening with this, which is why House Republicans now need to take the next step.
Why? Because everybody watched him crime on television?
Create their own committee, because the videos are just only one part of this.
40,000 hours and the video's just one part of it. That's what you say when you ain't got shit.
I want to repeat this. It's imperative for Johnson to, when he gets back, I think on Tuesday is the first day back a week, he must reinstate the Joint Committee on J6. Let him have a ranking member. Let him have minority counsel. Let's set it up the right way.
I mean, I don't care if he does, but it isn't going to happen.
Wait, not the way that was set up. It's one of the key arguments I've made in my case, which I don't talk much about. But this is
right, because it's a loser.
You can't do it the way Nancy Pelosi did it. You have to do it by the rules. But Johnson must set this up. We must have the House go through and do a formal event. This must be adjudicated.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Here's a good idea. Keep the fucking Freedom Caucus busy. Give them each 5,000 hours of footage to go over. They and their staffs can sit there with a fucking pen and redo all the work the FBI has done. That's why there's so much fucking... Why, as far as it being one of the biggest cases the FBI has ever dealt with, is because of the sheer amount of footage, both inside the Capitol from the security cameras, and that these dumb motherfuckers filmed themselves. And every single one of them is looking for an out. That wasn't me. I wasn't there. I was standing over there. That guy just looked like me. And so they got to they got to create a timeline of these dumb motherfuckers. Then they got to check the footage that they posted against the footage that is there. Then they got to geolocate the shit and then move on to the next of a 3,000 of these dumbasses.
With Democrats thrown in, two things we must adjudicate now, must be done, is number one, we have to get to the bottom of J6. And this.
Yeah, I agree. Start at Mar-a-Lago.
Footage is part of it. We have to get to the bottom of it. Wherever
What's the bottom? Motherfucker, you were there.
it leads, have to get to the bottom of it. All of
Wherever it leads.
it. All of it. And you also have to investigate Nancy Pelosi's committee. This committee, I think.
Wait a minute. You want a committee to investigate the committee? Jesus Christ. Thank God these assholes don't believe in big government and that taxpayer dollars get wasted.
I think there's brazen criminality in what they did, and I think that will be proven. Criminality.
Yes. This woman is doing some of the most severe Karening I've seen in a long time. I'm not thinking. Yes, we need to get footage of it. I'll be in charge of that. I'm Harriet Hagman, and I will gladly step in and watch all the footage. I've watched it already. That's what I do with my free time. Is I have a little scooter I bring to work, a little rascal scooter, and I roll it up in a skiff, and I don't even have to get out the goddamn thing, and then I put in my little house card, and then I'm able to just look at all the footage. I look at all the footage, and all of them walking around, and it's so exciting. It's so exciting. Oh, it's exciting.
Do you agree with me? Julie, you followed this closer than any person in the country. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely. They have already buried evidence. We are still waiting for the production of records from the Secret Service that have now been buried at the Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security.
What about what an asshole Donald Trump was on the day? You don't think they're actually burying that shit because they want to hurt Donald Trump, do you?
And the Biden White House. So there are still records that Barry Loudermilk, who is the head of the House Administrative Committee, who has been looking into this, he has sent letters to the Biden White House and DHS and other authorities.
Yeah, letters?
Seeking these missing records. Get this, Steve. All of the video interviews, they offered, the J6 committee would offer clips of that during their televised performances. None of those none of that footage has been archived or given over to House Republicans. Why?
Yeah.
Why not? Because we know we're going to be able to compare what was really said, or at least the context of some of these clips. Also, I want all of those four celebrity January 6th January 6th cops, Mike Fanone, Dan Hodges, Aquilina Ganell, and Harry Dunn. They not only lied under oath to Congress in that hearing, they have lied under oath in court testimony and victim impact statements that have prompted longer prison sentences because they've all lied about what they endured on January 6th, what they saw, allegations of racism. Michael Fanone was almost killed. We also have footage that totally contradicts that.
Okay, here's a good idea. Then just show it. Because we've all seen the footage where they dragged his ass out and were tasing him and trying to get his gun. And the people around him who've been tried admitted that that's exactly what they were trying to do. There were even some maggots that came to his rescue. I suppose those guys were the FBI.
Those four need to be put back on the stand under.
Do you hear what he said? It's all a lie.
Your oath and explain.
By the way, hold on. 1 second. Yeah. Yes, she is a terrible person. Let's see.
Officer Fanone, before I
hold on 1 second.
Ask you a question, I'd like to show a brief video clip of some of what you went through today. I realize this can be difficult to watch, but I think it's important for the public to see.
Yeah. Guys, this is all out of context. Like, the cops started this. It's all out of, guys, this is all out of context. That guy right there, he got like an extra 8 months because of this, because of these lies. These cops are all faking it. Those aren't even real shields. They're made out of licorice. Yeah, it's like tourists. Yeah, this is them talking to him while he's unconscious.
Almost all of that.
Yeah, that's sorry, lady. Tell me again real quick how he was faking it.
Their lies.
Amen.
These motherfuckers. They're lies. They're lies. Okay, then he has somebody else on. What is this? This is his little bit about the Republican establishment hates you much more than the radical left. This is his anti-rhino shit. So break out the popcorn.
We got Mike Davis, Jeff Clark, and Kash Patel. We're going to get to the bottom. And I wanted to tee it up.
Yeah. So what are you saying, that Kash Patel is the bottom? All right.
Up first with the J6 footage because it's inextricably linked. Look, why is The Economist doing this? Why are they in meltdown? Why now are you part of an American insurgency? MAGA is the worst thing in the world. This is all Biden runs against. You guys are criminal in nature. You're the backbone of the nation, but you're the worst people ever born and are set to destroy the United States of America. Why is that? Because we're getting stronger every day.
Yes, that's why Trump has gone from crowds of 60,000 to high school stadiums.
You know that. The MAGA tide is ascending.
Stadiums. Listen to me. Gymnasiums.
They understand that. They understand we're much more sophisticated and tougher than in 2000.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You guys are way more. You're totally sophisticated. That's the word that comes to mind.
16. That's why you have all these people working on all these different efforts about deconstructing the administrative state.
Yes, destroying the U.S. government from within. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's very sophisticated.
When President Trump takes office again, it's no more games as president.
No more games. Yeah, that's and obviously. So you're saying his entire his first 4 years were just a fucking game. It was just play acting.
Trump would say.
Golf, I guess. I don't know. Is golf it's a game. I don't know if it's a sport.
You can't go forward until you get to the bottom of the 2020 steal, and you can't.
Yeah, that's right. Stick to that. Thanks. If anybody on the right doesn't believe that this asshole is like a chaos agent to destroy the Republican Party, I don't know what you're clinging to, because literally this is the thing that's costing them elections, and this dumb motherfucker is still clinging to
go
it.
forward until you get to the bottom of J6. Just can't do it.
You can't do it. Never let it go. Just go January 6th, 2020, that over and over. Just nail that. Don't let it go. Hang on to that shit. It's great so far.
These things will fester for decades.
Oh, yes.
Always be questioned. We have to have the truth come out, whatever the truth leads us.
Whatever the truth leads us. Or wherever.
Where the facts lead. The facts have to come out on both those events. They must come out.
They have?
They must come out now. Speaker Johnson needs to reinitiate the J6 committee, and not a bogus like Benny Thompson and Pelosi. You have to have a ranking member, a Democrat, and they have to have minority counsel. That's the American, common law system. It has to. They have to be able to see evidence. They have to be able to cross-examine witnesses. If we had done this the original way, it wouldn't be in this situation today. That must happen. And Speaker Johnson can make it happen. And look, this is not a shiny toy. We don't jump on shiny toys here. The J6.
Jesus Christ, dude, you don't even wash.
Footage is incredible. Some of the stuff has come out. If we can play that one thing that Benny Johnson.
That one thing?
And I think Dom Lucra put it up first, got over 1 million hits. If we can play that, you see right here, this is a federal asset. Look at this guy. He's all dressed up. He's got a helmet on, never takes the helmet off. He's hand.
Look, for the record, most maggots should be wearing helmets in general, and Gen Pop anyways when they're walking around, because I think they've had enough head damage so far.
They take him off to the side. They undo the handcuffs, and then he fist bumps one of the officers, one of the Capitol Hill officers, or one of the DHS guys. You're telling me that's a J6?
Yeah, you telling me they don't know there's cameras there? You're telling me that that those officers don't know there's footage, this is on tape, and that guy as a fibby wouldn't know as well?
You're telling me first off, if that's a J6 guy, why are they doing it? Doesn't feel like an insurrection. That's the type of question you have.
Because they detained him temporarily and they let him go because they had bigger fish to fry. And it was, again, here's what you need to tell me. Where's the fucking timestamp?
You have to get to who is that guy. He has to come forward, testify.
Oh, yeah. Please find that fucking guy. Find that fucking guy. And then have somebody start digging into other footage of him and start bitching that this cop should have never let him go in the first place, and catch him in that crowd kicking a fucking cop or pushing on somebody and get him actually arrested, and then pat yourself on the fucking back.
You got to get Ray. You got to get all of them. This stinks to high heaven. People know that. And now.
No, they don't. You're a goofy piece of shit.
Now that we're in power, and it is obscene, and this is one of the McCarthy situations in the establishment, because they don't want the Republican establishment hates you as much or even more than the radical left. I know.
Yes, I know you think you have friends, baby, but you don't. I'm the only one who loves you. If you go anywhere else, I'm just saying you're going to get your heart broken. I know your friends hate you worse than your enemies do. If you really think about it, I would just stay home.
No, that may be hard to believe, but it's true. That's why they've suppressed this. It's November going into December of the first year that we've taken the House, and we haven't done this yet, but it must happen immediately. And people should start working 7 days a week, 20-hour days.
Yeah, please do that. Work 7 days a week, 20-hour days on this shit. Yeah.
This is one of the urgent tasks before us. It must happen.
That's it. Like, he's just playing this fucking doom loop of this nonsense of this guy being let go because they can't arrest everybody. And if they start arresting people at one point, it was going to, that's what was going to create the problem. So they're like picking their battles, just like, dude, you got to get you fucking out of here. Nope. I'm detaining you. But here, because he was in fucking Pelosi's office or something. He's like, look, I'm not going to charge you. You're probably going to be in trouble. You might get a knock on your door, but I'm not going to take you to jail right now. Just get the fuck out of here. We got bigger fish to fry. I got 35 people trying to take a shit in the rotunda right now. So beat it. It's not like the fucking, like the Capitol has a holding cell big enough to hold these dumbasses. Like, ugh. Anyways, hi, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. How you doing? Now, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, where we go. I mean, there's so much to cover, and I'm not gonna have time. Okay, ugh. One clip almost made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. Where? There was, I wanted to show you something else, too. Hold on one second. I've got to see if I can find this. Oh, it's roster, I think. Hold on 1 second. Where are you? Hold on. Let me go back to you guys. There you go. Give me 1 second. Go back to here. And then Maria Bartiromo, and this is kind of crucial to the shit we talk about. Let's see if I can find this clip because it's probably buried by the time I get around to it. Let's see. Has basically is convinced that COVID was sent here. Yeah, here it is. Is there a chance that COVID was sent here by Fox News or by China? There you go. Watch the video. Yeah, there you go. See if I can do here. Bring this over here and show you this real quick. Once it loads. There we go. Why the fuck is it? Play that. Go to the link, you crazy. Doesn't want to load. It's taking its own sweet time. Yeah. I think it was on X then. Somebody. Anyways, excellent picture of her though. Let me show you. Because I can't play the video, I guess, right now. But this is like, I mean, it's not even a new take. This is a really unfortunate freeze frame. That's a rough one to this is her statement. Is there a chance China released COVID intentionally to bring down Trump? Well, A, if they did, it fucking worked. And B, again, if Donald Trump was president of the United States when China released the biggest bioweapon in human history and killed more American citizens than at any time in our history since the Revolutionary War, well, I guess Civil War maybe, on our own soil, then he's responsible and then he made a deal with them to buy all our pork, corn, soybeans, and beef. Is he not the shittiest president we've ever fucking had? If it's not a bioweapon, he just egged it. If it is a bioweapon, dude was president during a bioweapon attack, and his response was ass. His response was, sure, it's a bioweapon attack, but it'll probably go away with the sunshine. Lord almighty. During an interview with Brad Wenstrup of Ohio, she asked, is there any chance that China released this virus un-American intentionally? What do you think about what I just said there, Brad Wenstrup of Ohio? In fact, there's no evidence of okay, blah, blah. Regardless, Barron wanted to say the goal of the Chinese government may have been to disrupt America to get Donald Trump out. Get your man in there, Joe Biden. He did release the possibility that the virus was released accidentally, which is the lab leak theory anyways. Like, no, well, the idea is that if it was from the lab, then it was leaked accidentally or on purpose. There are only two options there. There's a decision tree that has two fucking branches. Either it was on purpose or it was an accident. If it's an accident, then whoever cut the security funding to that lab is responsible. And that man is Donald John Trump. If it was on purpose, Donald Trump's reaction to and handling of COVID has to be seen through the lens of we were attacked with a bioweapon and everything he did in reaction to it, including making a fucking deal with China in the middle of it, delaying our response because he didn't want to he didn't want to screw up his trade deal that he was making, must also be seen through that lens. N'est-ce pas? Why am I the only person that points this shit out? Okay, hold on one second. Go back to you guys. 2,000 people in the chat room because I love it. Where are you? Hold on. There you go. Back to you folks. Move you back up here. Thank you very much. I got to come up with another system where I can play clips and stuff. Also, real quick, can we just enjoy this for a moment? Let's take a momentary break to enjoy Trump being pro-turd. This is, we talked about this earlier with Bob Cesca. Here it comes.
Colleges and universities will purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing, the terrorism, this pro.
What you doing? This pro-terrorism turd. Oh God, yeah. Also, does anybody know where this is from? Is it the Baptist Convention? Because I tried to find this on C-SPAN. It's like Las Vegas, but like, what the shit? Pro-turdism, yep.
Colleges and universities will purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing, the terrorism.
Oh, it is. What are you doing with the turds? Honestly, it's just so wrong. Get you up there. Hi, guys. It's just, I mean, you gotta, come on. But understand that is Biden's the one who's old. And does any, hold on, maybe, I don't know. Excellent. Boston Brian's good for Friday, second hour. Love it. That's fantastic. Look forward to it. I'm gonna have to build some sort of like background for him or something, some special. I'll figure it out. Maybe the frame he's in should be shaped like a bee or something. I'll figure it out. Because I've been looking for that actual note. Iowa commit to. Oh, I see. Gotcha. I've been trying to find that little gathering, and it's not. I guess it was live on C-SPAN, but it wasn't actually on there. If anybody can find that link for me, I'd love to see it all the way through. And then one more thing. Oh, this is well, hold on. Yeah, here we go. This is some fun stuff. Now we looked at, hold on. Well, where the hell is it? This is okay. This is weird. Hold on. Now I've got so much shit. You guys are like, that's the thing. If I start anything up, it's like, it's 25 minutes, and that's which takes me an hour, minimum. Grabbing one more thing. Yeah, here we go. Is it Stank? Yeah, here it is. This is the other. This is Stankfest over here. Is showing the corralled J6er footage again, going, this is nothing. They're just walking around. Nobody even did anything. Same shit. Different.
Thank you, Speaker Mike Johnson.
Thank you for grabbing my Johnson.
Just moments ago, really, he announced that he would be releasing 44,000 hours of January 6 tapes over the next few days. He's already released a huge batch of these tapes. Take a look at this. Do these look like great insurrectionists? Look closely there. They're shaking hands with Capitol Police officers. Now,
yeah, those are the ones that left peaceably. Those are the ones that the cops were making friends with and corralling out.
Here's what I did.
By the way, why are you playing loops this fucking small? I mean, other than the fact that you're sucking off whatever Benny Johnson had access to.
Batch is thousands of hours.
Right. And so I should be convinced by a 4-second loop
of footage. I went through a lot of it randomly, and this is what I found. A lot of walking around. A lot of taking pictures. A lot.
Yeah. After they overran the police officers. I mean, hey, who's to say that everybody who breaks into your house is going to, murder you or sexually assault your family or some of them maybe just want to raid the fridge. Hell, some of them just need to enjoy the comfort of your easy chair.
The selfies. What I didn't see was any real violence. And I was randomly going through hours upon hours upon hours of video, and I think it was probably just about an hour or two ago that...
It's funny that, so you're telling me that the selected, of the 44,000 hours, which has not been released, but the portion released so far that you randomly went through in the first batch is devoid largely of violent acts. You don't find that hinky at all? Mr. fucking, also, where's the fucking time code, dummy? This is end of the day. Why are you getting backwards footage? Are they releasing the end of the day first? Wait, are you thinking that by the time they get to the third release, when they start putting out the shit where the cops are being attacked, that everybody will have just kind of blown off the new footage and aren't looking because they're so busy digging into the 10,000 hours of walking footage from the 2 hours at the end of the day when most people were being herded at that point?
He released this video, and as you can see, this is very...
There's the footage again. Look at the same fucking loop over and over again.
Very typical of what has been released here. So unlike...
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. I'm sure that of the 44,000 hours, this is indicative of the first batch they released.
Speaker McCarthy, who refused to release it, only giving it to a handful of news outlets to pick through it, Speaker Johnson said, you know what? He made a promise to release it, and he did. Now we don't have to rely on others to tell us what happened on January 6th. Now we can rely on citizen journalists to...
Yeah, to watch hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of it and end up realizing that, oh, that guy we said was a fibby. Oh, that guy's from Wisconsin. He's yeah, I've seen him at a Trump rally.
Go through all of this video and go through it. Now, here's the reality.
Yeah, go through all this footage and go through it. I hope you go through it at some point while you're going through
the
it.
Situation. I don't think we'll ever fully know what happened on January 6th.
Yeah, what's the missing part? What really happened? I mean, did anybody even get footage of the UFO that day? I mean, it's all a big fucking mystery.
I don't think we'll ever fully know the involvement of the federal government, but I do know the...
Yeah, well, we know a big portion of it, which was corralling these dumb fucks.
Political persecution.
And by the way, why wouldn't you? If he's releasing all the footage, and you're going to see all these guys and who they were interacting with, you should be able to find the dipshits like the maggot version of Where's Waldo here, walking around in an American flag fucking drape with an orange cap on in case anybody mistakes the top of his head for a deer. Maybe he was talking to a dude that on another video you were certain was an FBI agent, and then you call that fucking guy up and you go, who's that guy you were talking to? Oh, that's Charlie. Oh, well, fuck me. All right, well, I'm not going to tell anybody because then people know just how genuinely full of shit I am.
Is very, very real. All you have to do is look at the people you see on your screen there. Many of them arrested, most of them charged with crimes.
Nope.
And some of them sitting in prison right now.
Nope. Not these folks.
We talk about Jake Lang, who's over 1,000 days without any trial, sitting in the D.C. gulag. What about our...
Oh, and by the way, where's he in this footage? Show me the footage of him just walking around.
Buddy Jonathan Strand, who's been on this program many times, 32 months for walking through the Capitol just like that, refusing to take a plea deal. How do I know he's politically persecuted? Because the night he called into this program, he was punished for it. And
from jail?
And punished harshly. Remember this?
A prison is no picnic. It's not comfortable. It's a painful experience, and it's a shock to the system for someone that has always been, of course, a law-abiding, upstanding citizen, and
until you weren't.
Conducted themselves in such a way that this kind of environment is not natural or expected in any way.
You know, like, I don't know, like some people.
So if I knew it was coming, I knew that the politicization...
Politicization is a very difficult word to say. I like to say, hold on one second. Let's see. Here you go. MAGA Derek Zoolander convicted for role in Capitol riot. John Strand rejected a plea deal and waged an online campaign for vindication. Now he faces a possible 24 years in prison. We stormed the Capitol. It's insane. So proclaimed John Strand in a text after entering the halls of Congress last January 6th. The message was part of a seemingly endless procession of evidence, including photos, videos, tweets, texts, and more, documenting Strand's role in the riot that is displayed before a grand jury at the district court in Washington last week. Strand was convicted on all 5 charges he faced on Tuesday and now faces up to 24 years in prison. His potential sentence is so harsh because he refused to take a plea deal, instead opting to fight the charges against him before a jury and through an absurd online campaign for vindication. Strand, a model-turned-COVID-19 conspiracy theorist, posts regularly on his social media channels about how he's being persecuted, set up a website splashed with glamour shots and links to donate from Gucci to guilty, reads the banner on the site. Okay, 24 years just for that. I'm just saying. Like, holy shit. Strand wore a pair of stylish loafers during closing arguments on Monday, during which his own lawyer called him a poser. According to Stephanie Metzimer of Mother Jones, who was the first to report on the conviction on Tuesday, it didn't work. He was found guilty a day after 4 misdemeanors related to unlawfully entering the Capitol and a felony charge of obstructing official proceeding. The felony conviction itself could put Strand away for 20 years. The silver loafers he wore on Monday were typical for Strand, who seems to have put more thought into styling himself than his legal defense. Let's see. Strand argued during his testimony on Friday that his responsibility to Gold was the reason he accompanied her into the Capitol. Oh, sorry, he was with somebody. He literally made history. Okay, this is it. Okay, Strand's focus seemed to have shifted, pushing COVID-19 conspiracy theories after the pandemic began. He served as a spokesperson and creative director for America's Frontline Doctors, an anti-vax group founded by Simone Gold, who is also his former partner. Strand and Gold were in Washington, D.C. on January 6th and were among the first throng of rioters to breach the Capitol. In a text message to his brother displayed before the court, Strand bragged that he and Gold were with the first dozen patriots to enter the building. We literally made history just now, he wrote. Gold, unlike Strand, accepted a plea deal for a role in the riot, and in June was sentenced to just 60 days in prison and was released in September. Strand argued during his testimony on Friday that it was his responsibility to Gold was the reason he accompanied her into the Capitol, and that he was practically forced into the building by the crowd surging around him. He testified that their relationship was highly imbalanced from the beginning, characterizing Gold, who is quite a few years older than him, as a bully. He was with her both in his capacity as her partner and as her bodyguard, he said. Nevertheless, he admitted that he never tried to stop her as they went to the Capitol, and they worked their way through the front of the crowd, attempting to reach the doors of the House chambers, or when they stopped to film Gold's attempt to deliver a speech. Strand's impeccable image has been presented through the presence of the case and becoming a matter of evidence. Dressed Friday in a dark suit. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There he is with her. There he goes. John Strand, Simone Gold inside the Capitol on Jan 6. She took a plea deal. He didn't. The claim is contradictory. Okay, da-da-da. Strand's impeccable image, da-da-da. He said a lack of visible. Okay. The defense argued later that Strand's lack of visible MAGA apparel or tactical gear was an indicator of Strand's lack of intent, and Strand testified that interfering with the certification of the election had never crossed my mind. The claim is contradicted, however, by a trove of contemporaneous social media posts displayed to the jury expressing Strand's displeasure with the results of the 2020 election, many of them featuring a Stop the Steal hashtag. The day after the riot, for instance, Strand posted an image of himself outside the Capitol on Twitter with the caption, "I am incredibly proud to be a patriot today, to stand up tall in defense of liberty and the Constitution, support Trump and MAGA forever, and send the message. We are never conceding a stolen election." In another tweet posted days before the attacks, Strand wrote, "Seriously, this is what the Insurrection Act is for. This is war. Trump maverick, the election was rigged." The mountain of evidence against Strand forced him to resort to tactics like requesting trial be moved out of D.C. because of liberals. Mr. Strand would not be judged by his peers, but by his political foes. Strand's decision to go on trial was doomed from the start, as but it's allowed him to cast himself as a martyr. Yeah, okay. So his essential argument, this guy, is that ultimately it fucking Simone Gold made him. That was his actual defense.
Of January.
So he was a boy toy of Simone Gold, and she made him enter the Capitol and do shit. That was his defense.
6 and the Washington D.C. district was such that I was not innocent until proven guilty. I was guilty until proven convicted.
Look, folks, I'm
guilty until proven convicted. Well, if you're convicted, that means you've been proven guilty. I mean, I was, guilty until proven innocent is the. Yeah.
I'm not going to give up on Jonathan Strand.
I don't doubt it. I think you guys have a great future together. I think, obviously, it's like an episode of Twins looking at you guys.
And I'm not going to give up on the other political prisoners.
He's not a political prisoner. He's not in there because of his politics. The woman he was in there with was guilty of all the same shit, and she did 60 days.
Here's the reason why.
Okay, here's the reason why this asshole thinks it's okay to beat and tase police officers, injure their spines, break their hands, cut them, beat them, all that kind of shit. Why that's necessary.
After that phone call, Jonathan Strand had all his phone privileges pulled from him. After his former boss, Dr. Simone Gold, came on.
You mean he ghosted you? I'm just saying, Grindr isn't what it used to be. They should have like a little like warning on there or something.
On the program to tell us about that, he was thrown into solitary confinement. Congressman Matt Gaetz calls it the worst form of abuse that he has seen so far when it comes to these January 6th prisoners. So as you look at the video...
What is this? What are we supposed to see here? Him knocking on the door? He's with a large group of people who are there to murder someone?
On your screen, and we'll go to the video that Kevin McCarthy released if we can. That Speaker Mike Johnson released, the interior video, guys, if we can, the newly released video.
Wait a minute. What the fuck is that cut? The fuck? Dude, try harder. Holy shit. That's not even the same goddamn door.
That Speaker Mike Johnson released, the interior video, guys, if we can, the newly released video. There we go. If you look at that video, that is the video that I want to go viral. I want everybody in America to look at it and see that by and large, these men and women were patriots, they were peaceful, and they were patriotic. I'd rather...
Based on what? Based on the fact that they were the last ones through the fucking door, and by that time they had no hope that this would work, and they knew they'd be in deep shit, and they were just being herded out the other fucking door.
That go viral, then this go viral. TikTok videos. Check out this, cut 2.
Reading this letter, it becomes
now to go into the Osama bin Laden letter. Like, this is the parallels.
apparent to me that the actions of 9/11 and those acts committed against the USA and its people were all just the buildup of our government failing other nations. My voice just wants to leave.
Folks, I don't know what the end of that was, but this is all about this letter to America from Osama bin Laden.
All right, fuckwad. Listen, you're not going to play like loops of assholes on TikTok as if that's a real fucking thing. It's just an excuse to put this dickhead's picture on screen while you play like lumbering loops of maggots on Jan 6 to avoid showing the violence they engaged in on that day. Get the fuck out of here. Like, imagine, like, think about what we saw in that clip, by the way. What, the stuff he ran through. The loop of the people just walking. Then he shows that other dude, Sands, who, you know, is, like, wouldn't take a plea deal and is getting sentenced. And then cutting to a picture of him outside the door, footage of him outside the door, followed immediately by people just walking peacefully through a different door as if those are tied together. Fucking hell. And yes, fuck Osama bin Laden and his bullshit. I don't think I have to remind the people in my audience, but if Osama bin Laden was allowed to run the world, women would have to cover themselves from head to foot anytime they went anywhere, and they would need a male chaperone from the family anytime they wanted to go anywhere, and that gay people would be hung from, you know, in the town square as a warning to other gay people. Fuck that noise. Stop. It's not even like, and the idea that the people who happened to be in the fucking towers that day deserve to take the brunt of whatever negative backlash there was to American foreign policy. Most of the fuckers in that building were, I mean, there were tons of like permanent residents. There's a bunch of people who weren't even citizens. Yeah, TikTok's fucking malware. And this, I mean, you could argue that this dude, Stank's show is effectively malware in the same way. And thank you, CSL. Hold on one second. I think this is one you're looking for 3 weeks. Oh, this is 3 weeks ago at the Jewish Coalition Summit. Oh boy. All right, I'm going to set that aside because it's a long one. Is it? Yes. Oh, it's not too long. But we'll do that tomorrow because that looks great. Okay. Yeah. Well, tomorrow, amongst other clips that we're going to do, we'll have the Trump Sundowns episode 5. But your son called, so you missed the last 40 minutes. Let's just redo it. I'll back up. You can just rewind. It's charming, whatever. It's good. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go because I went over again, as I am wont to do. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the afternoon, and we'll cover episode 7 of Trump sundowning and the like. You guys are wonderful. Take care of yourself. Don't forget patreon.com/HalSparks. There's also a patreon.com/BostonBrian. There's a patreon.com/Bob Seska Show. There's Stephanie Miller. Well, I'm just saying, if you don't want to help me because fuck that guy, help one of the others. Genuinely. And if you're just a troll and you're here or whatever, thank you for your eyeballs. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you watching the show because you get us out into the algorithm in a way that the regular viewers couldn't possibly. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else, and I'll see you next week after the kidney. Maybe. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.
That is now gone viral.
Here I am like an idiot.
Thanks for subscribing, you guys. Hey, TLK Knitting. What's happening? Chris, thank you. Francie, thank you. Pokey, thank you.